It was at this pivotal juncture in the annals of organized crime that a legendary figure of the underworld made the fateful decision to fade into obscurity. Laden with the weight of years and weariness, Meyer Lansky found himself ill-suited for the confines of a prison cell, yet the specter of his past misdeeds loomed ominously, etched into the collective memory of a world unwilling to forget. As the relentless pursuit of the FBI drew ever closer, the shadows of his storied criminal career cast a long and haunting shadow over his twilight years. Expressions of gratitude, conveyed through the melodic strains of music, punctuated moments of reflection and gratitude, serving as a poignant reminder of the journey that had led him to this precipice. On sacred occasions, when the ancient Hebrew scriptures echoed through the air and families gathered to partake in festive feasts, a sense of foreboding descended upon the town of Grodno. Gentile peasants, emboldened by their unchecked power, perpetrated unspeakable acts of violence against the Jewish populace, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. It was amidst this crucible of suffering and persecution that the life of Meyer Lansky was forged, amidst the bleak and unforgiving landscape of Tsarist Russia. For centuries, the Jewish community had endured relentless persecution within the borders of the Russian Empire, and before Meyer had even reached the tender age of 10, his parents resolved to seek refuge in the promise of a new life across the Atlantic. In the year 1911, the Lansky family arrived on the shores of New York City, their journey culminating in the bustling streets of the Lower East Side. Here, amidst the crowded thoroughfares teeming with delis, markets, and pushcart vendors, the tapestry of Yiddish culture enveloped them in its embrace. Rows of dilapidated tenements, their facades adorned with sloping clotheslines, bore silent witness to the daily struggles of the immigrant populace, including Meyer's father, who toiled away in the confines of a garment sweatshop. Yet amidst the hardship and adversity, Meyer displayed a remarkable precocity, ascending from the first to the sixth grade within a span of 3 years. His insatiable thirst for knowledge led him to frequent the local library, where he immersed himself in the gritty realities of street-side gambling and the clandestine world of organized crime that thrived amidst the city's labyrinthine streets. A pivotal moment in Meyer's life occurred during a territorial dispute among neighborhood youths, where his innate cunning and resourcefulness allowed him to disarm an adversary brandishing a revolver with remarkable dexterity. Recognizing his potential, Meyer forged an alliance with Bugsy Siegel, and together they embarked on a meteoric rise to power, orchestrating a reign of criminality that saw them ascend to the upper echelons of the city's underworld. As Meyer matured, his aspirations of wealth and prosperity crystallized, fueling his ambition to transcend his humble origins and carve out a legacy of his own making. With the advent of Prohibition in 1920, Meyer recognized an unprecedented opportunity to capitalize on the clandestine trade in intoxicating beverages, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his criminal odyssey. In the clandestine world of speakeasies and illicit gambling dens, Meyer's astute business acumen propelled him into the inner circle of organized crime, where he collaborated with Arnold Rothstein, a prominent figure in New York's criminal syndicate. Under Rothstein's tutelage, Meyer's criminal empire flourished as he masterminded the illicit trade in high-quality liquor smuggled from England. Together with Bugsy Siegel, Lucky Luciano, and Frank Costello, Meyer navigated the treacherous waters of corruption and intrigue, solidifying his status as a formidable force within the underworld. Meyer and Bugsy astutely utilized the seemingly innocuous garage as a front to conceal their intricate web of illicit liquor transportation operations. Reflecting on their burgeoning enterprise, Meyer fondly recounted how by the mid-1920s they had seamlessly transitioned into managing what could be hailed as the most efficient and expensive international shipping business of its time. Despite his unassuming stature, often earning him the affectionate moniker the Little Man, Meyer, standing at a diminutive 5 feet 3 inches, possessed a formidable intellect and an unparalleled capacity for mental arithmetic. With remarkable precision, he meticulously orchestrated all aspects of the operation, from calculating shares and protection costs to managing profits, all while ensuring that their dealings remained shrouded in impenetrable secrecy. Adhering steadfastly to the exacting standards set forth by Rothstein Associates. Under their vigilant watch, employees were generously compensated and treated with utmost fairness, with any hint of dishonesty or disloyalty swiftly and decisively dealt with. All the resorting to violence was a measure only rarely deemed necessary. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Casting a soft golden glow over the city's streets, Meyer found solace in the mellifluous strains of Jack Smith's rendition of Red Red Roses in the year 1928. Yet, beneath the tranquil facade of the evening, the shadowy underbelly of organized crime pulsated with a potent mix of intrigue and danger as Bugsy and Meyer embarked on a fateful excursion with an associate who had dared to deceive them. In a chilling display of authority, they compelled him to flee from their vehicle, pursued by a relentless barrage of gunfire. Despite sustaining grievous injuries, the associate staunchly maintained his silence, a testament to the unwavering loyalty and fear inspired by Bugsy and Meyer's formidable reputation. However, even the most formidable figures are not immune to the inexorable march of fate. The specter of mortality loomed ominously over the criminal underworld, claiming the life of Arnold Rothstein in late 1928, the victim of a fatal gunshot wound that inflicted a slow and agonizing demise. Meanwhile, amidst the swirling chaos and uncertainty, Meyer found solace and companionship in the tender embrace of a woman named Anne, their union marking the dawn of a new chapter in his tumultuous life. Against the backdrop of societal upheaval and economic uncertainty, 1929 emerged as a watershed year, marked by a historic summit convened in the bustling metropolis of Atlantic City. Hosted by the esteemed crime lord Nucky Johnson, the conference brought together a veritable who's who of the criminal underworld, including luminaries such as Luciano, Lansky, and Al Capone. Amidst the opulent surroundings of the conference hall, the titans of organized crime deliberated over territorial disputes and strategic alliances, even as the looming specter of economic collapse cast a pall over the nation. However, amidst the grandeur and intrigue of the conference, Meyer grappled with personal demons, haunted by fears for the future in the face of mounting adversity. In 1930, his worst fears were realized when his son was born with a disabling condition that threatened to impede his ability to lead a normal life. Desperate for solutions, Meyer spared no expense in seeking out the finest medical care and exploring innovative treatments, yet the prognosis remained uncertain. Under the shrewd leadership of Luciano, the Mafia families flourished, forging alliances with associates from diverse ethnic backgrounds. By the time Prohibition was repealed in 1933, the significance of legalizing alcohol had become negligible to the mob's sprawling empire. With operations spanning the length and breadth of the nation, the Mafia had established lucrative rackets in extortion, fencing stolen goods, and trafficking narcotics, capitalizing on every opportunity for illicit gain. Through their infiltration of labor unions, they extended their influence to control entire industries, from the bustling markets and trucking networks to the bustling docks and bustling factories. In contrast to the more brazen endeavors of their counterparts, Meyer Lansky prided himself on his astute business acumen, eschewing the messiness of narcotics and prostitution in favor of the more refined realm of gambling. Operating discreetly out of exclusive private rooms nestled within his upscale clubs in New York, Florida, and even the bustling streets of Cuba, Lansky viewed the flamboyant antics of gangsters like Dillinger and the infamous Bonnie and Clyde with a mixture of disdain and amusement. Recognizing their reckless exploits as futile endeavors destined for tragic ends. Moreover, Lansky remained steadfast in his commitment to avoiding entanglements with the more unsavory aspects of organized crime, understanding all too well the risks of attracting unwanted federal scrutiny. This prudent approach was underscored by the downfall of Lucky Luciano in 1936, ensnared in a web of prostitution charges that resulted in a lengthy prison sentence, a fate Lansky was determined to avoid. Meanwhile, against the backdrop of global turmoil, a new and virulent force emerged, rallying under the banner of anti-Semitism and openly espousing hostility towards Jews in the United States. Undaunted by the rising tide of hatred, Lansky took decisive action, assembling a cadre of Jewish gangsters to confront the Nazi sympathizers head-on. Recalling the confrontations with grim satisfaction, Lansky recounted how they forcibly ejected the Nazis from their meetings, delivering a clear and unequivocal message that Jews would not passively tolerate discrimination. As the United States entered the fray of World War II in 1941, suspicions arose regarding the infiltration of German saboteurs into the nation's waterfronts. In a remarkable turn of events, Lansky found himself serving as a liaison between the Office of Naval Intelligence and the imprisoned Luciano, leveraging the Mafia's resources to counteract German sabotage efforts. Through a series of strategic maneuvers, They thwarted potential threats, ensuring the safety of Allied ships and safeguarding the nation's vital interests. Upon the conclusion of the war, the U.S. government honored its agreement with Luciano, securing his release from prison and deportation to his native Italy. Meanwhile, Lansky continued to navigate the labyrinthine corridors of organized crime, expanding his illicit gambling enterprises with the tacit approval of city officials eager to reap the benefits of his lucrative operations. From Hallandale, Florida, where even the local sheriff lent his support, to the bustling streets of New York, Lansky and his cadre of wise guys orchestrated a carefully choreographed dance of illicit profits, ensuring their continued dominance in the shadowy world of organized crime. Lansky appeared to be an unstoppable force, his presence dominating the vibrant streets adorned with flamboyant Spanish signage and pastel-hued buildings. A grand procession of esteemed mobsters from every corner of the United States converged, bearing lavish tributes and shares of illicit profits to their exiled leader, Lucky Luciano. Amidst the opulent backdrop of warm Havana nights, Cuban officials lavished the gangsters with delicacies while the air was perfumed with the heady scent of rum and the laughter of girls from the bordellos. As the sun rose on a new day within the hallowed halls of the National Hotel, Meyer Lansky began to delineate his grand vision for a mob-controlled empire in Cuba. Alongside Luciano and other Mafia luminaries, discussions turned to the lucrative narcotics trade, yet looming over the proceedings was the specter of the uninvited Bugsy Siegel. Renowned for his Hollywood connections and his ambitious ventures in Las Vegas, Bugsy's exorbitant expenditures on the Flamingo Hotel and Casino had raised eyebrows within the ranks of the Mafia. Concerns mounted that Bugsy's flamboyant lifestyle and suspected financial mismanagement posed a threat to the stability of their criminal enterprises. Lansky, ever the strategist, advocated for patience, buying his friend some reprieve until the Flamingo could realize its potential profitability. Yet, amidst the backdrop of uncertainty, moments of respite arrived in the form of entertainment fit for mob royalty, or with Frank Sinatra serenading the assembled mobsters, lending an air of surreal fantasy to the proceedings. However, Lansky's personal life was fraught with its own turmoil. His marriage to Anne, plagued by her ongoing battle with mental illness, crumbled under the weight of paranoia and instability. The divorce on Valentine's Day of 1947 marked a poignant turning point, leaving Meyer to grapple with the complexities of single parenthood amidst the tumult of his criminal enterprises. Tragedy struck once more when Bugsy Siegel, seated innocuously in his Beverly Hills abode, fell victim to a hail of bullets that shattered his once handsome visage, plunging Lansky and his associates into a maelstrom of uncertainty and grief. Despite the setbacks, Meyer found solace in his union with Teddy, who remained steadfast by his side through the trials and tribulations of his tumultuous life. Yet, even as the spotlight of public scrutiny intensified, Lansky remained undaunted, weathering legal challenges and brushes with infamy with characteristic stoicism. His brief stint behind bars served as a testament to his resilience as he endeavored to maintain a semblance of normalcy amidst the chaos of his criminal enterprise, all while honing his formidable intellect and engaging in feats of mental prowess that captivated even his fellow inmates. During his 3-month stint behind bars, Lansky immersed himself in a routine of disciplined exercise and rigorous study, swiftly summing up large blocks of numbers in mere seconds. In the vibrant tapestry of Cuban history, Meyer Lansky's imprint is indelible, woven into the fabric of the island's tumultuous political landscape and its glittering yet corrupt casino scene. As the former president, Fulgencio Batista, solidified his grip on power through a military coup, Lansky found himself at the center of a high-stakes game where alliances were forged with the flick of a card and fortunes were won or lost with each roll of the dice. Batista's authoritarian rule, propped up by the support of the U.S. government and fueled by American investments in Cuba's burgeoning tourism industry, provided fertile ground for Lansky's ambitions. Yet, amidst the opulence of Havana's bustling casinos, there lurked a darker underbelly of deceit and exploitation. While many establishments were marred by tales of rigged games and shady dealings, Lansky's table stood as beacons of integrity and fairness, drawing discerning players from far and wide. In a shrewd move to clean up the tarnished reputation of Cuban gambling, Batista turned to Lansky, offering him incentives and tax breaks to overhaul the industry. Lansky seized the opportunity, envisioning a future where Cuban casinos would rival those of Monte Carlo and Las Vegas in prestige and profitability. With Batista's blessing and financial backing, Lansky embarked on a monumental endeavor to transform Havana into the gambling capital of the Caribbean. The result was the birth of iconic establishments like the Riviera Hotel and Casino, where the clinking of chips and the rustle of playing cards provided a symphony of sounds amidst the sultry Cuban nights. Yet, behind the glitz and glamour of the Riviera's lavish ballrooms and opulent gaming halls lay a shadowy world of exploitation and inequality. While wealthy tourists reveled in the decadence of Havana's nightlife, impoverished locals toiled in the city's slums, their dreams of prosperity crushed beneath the weight of Batista's oppressive regime. As Lansky's influence grew, so too did the resentment of those who saw him as a symbol of foreign exploitation and corruption. In the streets of Havana, whispers of dissent mingled with the strains of Cuban music, signaling the brewing storm of revolution on the horizon. Fidel Castro's ragtag army of guerrilla fighters, fueled by a fierce determination to overthrow Batista's regime, posed a formidable threat to Lansky's empire of vice. On New Year's Day in 1959, as Castro's forces marched triumphantly into Havana, Lansky watched from the sidelines as the world he had helped to create crumbled before his eyes. The fall of Batista marked the beginning of the end for Lansky's Cuban dream, as Castro's revolutionary government moved swiftly to dismantle the casinos and expel the foreign mobsters who had once held sway over the island's fortunes. For Lansky, the demise of his Cuban empire was a bitter pill to swallow, yet it was only the beginning of his troubles. As the long arm of the law reached ever closer, Lansky found himself entangled in a web of legal battles and investigations. Accused of skimming profits from the Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Lansky faced mounting pressure from law enforcement agencies determined to bring him to justice. Amidst the chaos of legal proceedings and the specter of looming imprisonment, Lansky's health began to falter. Yet, even in the face of adversity, he remained resolute, his indomitable spirit undimmed by the passage of time. Seeking refuge in Israel, Lansky grappled with his Jewish identity, reflecting on his grandfather's legacy and the horrors of the Holocaust. In the twilight of his life, Lansky's thoughts turned to legacy and redemption. Though his name may forever be synonymous with organized crime, he hoped to leave behind a more enduring legacy, a legacy of resilience, resourcefulness, and the unwavering pursuit of one's dreams. As he passed into the annals of history, Meyer Lansky left behind a legacy that transcended the confines of his criminal past, a testament to the complexities of the human spirit and the indelible mark one man can leave on the world.